YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show as we bid farewell to the character Charlie Kirk. As he exits stage left, the spotlight is on our newest character. Now, his widow, Erica Kirk. And I promise you'll want to watch this video in its entirety, because there are some things that you've got to see in regards to what has occurred just 2 days after the so-called assassination of Charlie Kirk. The bizarre behavior, the obviously unhinged behavior that we're seeing from the MAGA conservative Christians who think that they know these people, these characters that are created by the Central Intelligence Agency. And we're gonna start by talking about just the fact that Erica Kirk has come out on social media. You're gonna see the video footage. She's showing footage of her lying at the casket of Charlie Kirk. And of course, conveniently, they're not going to show you Charlie Kirk's face, just his mannequin hands, because they don't want you to dissect that it's a doll that's likely laying there, although they could have taken images of the real Charlie Kirk, since the odds of him being dead are highly unlikely if you understand how the government works. And people go, well, what? If he's not dead, where is he? Well, have you ever heard of the Witness Protection Program? Yeah, well, just imagine that times 10. Because when Israel hides these people, these agents of theirs, they're hidden for life. They go places that you don't even know exist on a map. So we have 2 days after Erica Kirk witnessed the assassination. Keep in mind, it wasn't like Kirk died in a plane crash. The trauma inflicted from witnessing this and believing that it's real, seeing your husband get shot in the neck. Just imagine what that would do. This is not how people behave 2 days after their husband is dead. And don't give me any of this nonsense. Everybody grieves differently. If you understand why social media was created and you understand what the government is doing here, all of the behavior that you're seeing from Erica Kirk, from the alt-right media, is all done by design. It is bringing people deeper into the psychosis. And of course, the end game is change, and the change that is needed. So, newsflash before we get into some of this footage that's going to make you laugh if you're awake and you understand that these are characters and actors. If you're not, well, guess who's living through the biggest psychological operation in the history of mankind? That's right. You are. If you believe this stuff is real, then you're living through it. Grasp the perception that when you hear things about the news being fake and you hear things about the media being controlled, they're not talking about the opinion of the news anchors on CNN who lean liberal, or the opinion of the Fox News anchors who lean conservative. They're talking about the news itself being scripted and produced like a Hollywood movie. And we're seeing this psychosis in full. I'm sure you're all dealing with people around you who think you're insane, who are angry at you for even thinking this way. But these people don't think at all. They think that what they see on the internet is real. The pictures that these people post, they think that they know these people. That's what a psychosis is, and we're going to break that down for everybody to see. But this, of course, is not normal behavior. 2 days after the supposed assassination of Charlie Kirk, his widow, Erica, is photographed weeping over his casket. Of course, they wanted to deliberately take these photos because when you believe what you're seeing is real, it brings you deeper into the psychosis. It almost makes you feel like you're sitting at the funeral home with Erica because Charlie's one of you. He has the same opinion as you, so he's just like you. And you're watching this, and you can see her weeping, and she's got 2 children. Oh, this stuff couldn't be fake. But of course it's fake. And why would they fake these things? Because they draw you into the psyop. And by drawing you in and emotionally getting you invested, when they call for change, when they call for civil unrest, when they call for all the things they're going to be calling for, which we're going to watch one by one, what comes with this Charlie Kirk movement and these Charlie Kirk laws and bills that are going to be passed, you'll see exactly how problem, reaction, solution works. So this is not normal behavior. In fact, I've never seen in my life, ever, I've been to plenty of funerals and plenty of wakes. Have you ever seen people photographing it? Ever? Think about that. Has anyone thought about that when they see this picture of Erica? You been there and seen somebody photograph? What if you were there and you started seeing somebody take a photograph of the grieving widow by her husband's coffin? Would you start saying to yourself, what are they doing? You would look and make a face. You probably would say, that's not normal behavior. What in the world? Because it isn't normal behavior. The reason that they're doing this is because it's staged. They want to prove to you and make it look as real as possible that he's dead, so they keep sucking you into the psychosis more and more, taking you to the funeral home, showing you a casket, showing you the widow. They couldn't be actors, right? Yeah, because this is normal, right? Even holding his hand, holding up this Medal of Freedom award or whatever it is, look at his hands. Do those look like real hands to you? That's how obvious they want to make it, because they do have a sense of humor at the Central Intelligence Agency. I'll give them that, because they see how dumbed down the masses are, and they know that they can make these events as fake as they want, and they'll believe it. They could have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man show up and commit a shooting at a school, and they would believe it. They could do whatever they want, and the people will believe it as long as they see it on the television or on their phone, which is the same thing. It's all controlled media, right? So I'm going to play for you this clip, and you tell me if this is normal. This is her laying on the casket of her deceased husband, right? Of course, suppose this is right out of a movie. They don't show you his face, okay? And she tells him how much she loves him. She tells him, oh, he's with God now. She's rubbing on his hand. I'll show you a couple of times here, along with some of these collages or these montages that are all over social media, that they put the little music track behind it. They show you the soldiers carrying out the casket. They even will show you her walking towards her car as she leaves, as if, everyone's boarding and unboarding Air Force One, and she has to stop to hug the vice president's wife, and the vice president's wife conveniently looks right into the camera, as you'll see. Of course, while they're all playing the bagpipes, playing, I believe, Amazing Grace, she just leans over. They want to make sure you see all of these things and don't question them. So when the people see this and they're told that this is reality, not a movie, they get emotionally sucked in. If you knew you were watching a movie, you would just say, oh, yeah, I'm watching this movie, right? Okay, interesting. Okay, the husband died. Where are we going with the story here, right? But because they're told that this is real, even though it's filmed and produced just like a movie, well, they get sucked so deep into the psychosis that they're defending it, right? Remember that quote from The Matrix? When Morpheus says, you have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. And the unhinged behavior that you continue to see is only going to get even more amplified because of stuff like this that they refuse to question. This is not normal human behavior. You do not film yourself lying over your husband's casket. You don't do it because, well, he's a public figure and all his followers and supporters want to see it. This is fake. Look.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. God bless you. Oh, I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
That, of course, is as fake as it gets. Let's start with the hands of Charlie Kirk. Of course, again, not showing you his face deliberately, showing you because they don't want anyone to start dissecting the wound on the neck or with the head being turned. Is there this? Is there that? And of course, the hands couldn't look faker. I could tell you right now, this looks like it's straight out of a wax museum. That's what it looks like because that's exactly what this is. Did you notice the fact that while she was walking through the parking lot that the vice president's wife looked right into the camera because they want to make sure they get the shot, right? And then somebody yells, cut. Well, they don't need to yell cut because these are all actors. And if you understand how secret societies work, you will understand what this is all about. Control, controlling your emotions, changing laws, getting you to go aboard with what the government wants. They bring in new draconian laws by creating false flag psychological operations. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. So another side note, has anybody asked the question of why Charlie Kirk's casket is flying on Air Force Two? I mean, is this a senator? I mean, even senators don't fly on Air Force One or Air Force Two, right? Do former senators, do former governors fly on Air Force One or Air Force Two? Where their caskets get flown on there? No, they do not. They do not. So this is to enhance the production quality, right? To have Vice President J.D. Vance standing with his wife, and nobody goes, well, why is this? He's not even directly a member of Congress. So why is his corpse being flown on there? I mean, is Sylvester Stallone next because the president liked Rocky IV? You like the Rocky movies? You liked a couple of the Rambos, First Blood? Does that mean when he passes away, are we going to see his casket on Air Force One or Air Force Two? I love how nobody asks any of these type of basic questions while they're witnessing it. That's how you know they're under hypnosis. They're in a trance. They're believing all of these things they see. And remember, when you watch media, your brainwave lowers to a delta brainwave, which is when you begin to be programmed. You're not watching things consciously. You're watching things in a programmable mindset. So they see all this stuff and they're told they're watching it as if it's real. So they believe it. Just like when they go to the movies, their brain's telling them that this isn't real when they're watching it. So they're not going to leave the movie theater. Maybe they'll cry because it was an emotional ending to The Notebook or some nonsense that they go and see. They're not going to carry it with them for the next day and day and day and rant all over social media as if the ending of the movie was actually real life. So nobody questioning that, right? I mean, it's hilarious because this is the alt-right media, which most of you know I've been ranting about since it occurred after Comet Ping Pong. I've been ranting about it because all of these YouTubers, right, who all bickered, right, the Truth Movement, there's so many guys, like 500,000 subs, millions of subs. I can't even remember half of the names of any of us anymore who existed. We were all wiped off in an instant. And then all these people just came in wearing a suit, all looking like they're completely manufactured behavior, all talking a little conspiracy, but all making sure you stay stuck in the left-right paradigm. And of course, never questioning any of these news stories if they're actually real or scripted. They, of course, never even mention the notion of that. And they don't go into detail about any important topics like weather modification and 5G. They don't do any of that. They tell you a little bit of stuff to get you sucked in about how crazy the trans stuff is, which everybody out there knows. So then people go, these people are like-minded like me. And then they feed them the left-right propaganda news. This is not normal behavior. Flying a social media poster who goes to college campuses and rants about trans ideologies and everything else gets to be flown on the president or the vice president's airplane. The behavior around the casket is not normal. To be filmed, wanting to be filmed. Would you want to be filmed? Let alone, like I said earlier in the video, just use your own common sense. You've been to a funeral and seen somebody filming the wife, the widow, grieving at the casket of a 31-year-old, a 30-year-old widow, wherever old she is, grieving and taking photos and videos of it, and then she wants to talk on video and have somebody film her? Are you kidding me? And you still can't see it's a psychosis? All right, let's continue. Because this is the big photograph they've been posting everywhere. Holding out what? She's holding out the rosaries in the window. Oh, they love this, of course, because the Christians are the target audience here, which is why they've had Kirk so yoked up with Christianity, right? Oh, he's a Christian. As of when? Well, he became more of a Christian as time went. Oh, the liberal movement, good versus evil. This is all government manufactured, and they're going to lead Christians off of a cliff. You wait. We all know the Noahide laws are coming. But this is the wife. The wife's picture that they featured all over the place is this. You notice her hands, by the way? Yeah, it looks a lot like that symbol Charlie Kirk was holding up. Is she doing a MAGA there? I mean, everything they do is intricate and deliberate. You ever hold rosaries up? Try holding rosaries up like that, where you have 3 fingers up in the air and you have it placed between your index finger and your thumb. Yeah, it's not normal. Of course, right? No, it's not. So let's take a quick look before I show you this massive, the thing you really need to see, and that was what you need to see first, but I really wanted to focus the video on, is this rallying cry, this speech that Erica Kirk gave. She gave a massive speech about how we're going to move forward, right? This is 2 days after her husband was supposedly shot in the neck in front of everybody. She should be under massive trauma because it's not just losing her husband, it's watching them die, right? Imagine you're walking down the street with your wife or your girlfriend and they just got shot in the head and you just watch their head explode next to you. You ready to go give a pep talk and say our most important thing right now is we got to MAGA it. We got to fight. That's what we got to do. You want to grieve a little bit longer. They don't want you to grieve. They don't want to even display them grieving any longer because they have to move forward with the psychosis to make sure everyone gets sucked in, because there's more days that go by. If they don't continue to amplify this, they're going to lose their grip on everybody's minds. And that's, of course, coming with the laws and rules that they're going to dedicate to Charlie Kirk that we're going to see in the next couple of days. But who is she, right? Everyone's asking, who is she? Well, she's conveniently a pageant queen. You might say, well, what does that mean? Well, pageant queen doesn't mean that you're, one of them. Well, if you didn't know, the majority of pageant queens go through Job's daughters and rainbow girls, right? A lot of former Job's daughters have been Miss USAs, are in the Miss USA competition. Can't you notice just by looking at the pictures that you see of Job's daughters and rainbow girls, they're all dressed up as if they're pageant queens. That's the point, because they get groomed. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Job's daughters, rainbow girls, DeMolay, these are child organizations that are groomed by Freemasons and the Eastern Star Witches. The Eastern Star is your female version of Freemasonry. Their logo happens to be an upside-down pentagram, if you didn't notice, and they're in every one of our towns. Yeah, that's right. Go look it up. You'll find a Mason Lodge. Don't try looking in their windows because they're fake windows, because you're not allowed to peek in there because you can't see the rituals they're doing inside, because then you'll realize that they're actually witches and Satanists, right? They pretend to be Christian. They pretend to follow God. The God they're referencing is Lucifer, which is revealed to them as they move along in these stages of Freemasonry and the Eastern Star. That's the God they worship. It's in their teachings. It's out there. Albert Pike teaches about it. They worship Lucifer, not the same God that we worship. But nonetheless, Freemasons and the Eastern Star exist in every town. What people don't know is that they groom children. They groom children. The DeMolay are the male version, the boys. It's like a Boy Scouts, and they have their hand in the Boy Scouts as well, if you didn't know. But they groom them. They groom their behavior. They groom them and do this stuff the same with Eastern Star. They groom these young girls, right? And what do they groom them in? Well, they groom them so that they could eventually be Freemasons and Eastern Star witches. That's what I refer to them. These are Masonic youth occult philosophy organizations. They teach them oaths, rituals, ungodly doctrines. They build up the egos of these young children. They make them things like senior princess, worthy advisor, honored queen. So if you're somebody out there that's struggling of how all this works, when we talk about these events being fake, when you see a school shooting and you go, this guy's saying that these events aren't real. The kids are on TV. They're all giving interviews. You see the same kid, like David Hogg, for example. He's on 900 news stations. Why David Hogg out of the 500 to 600 kids that go to school, or however many it is? Hogg is here. Hogg is there. Hogg's now an activist. Hogg's now at the March for Our Lives. Hogg's now, speaking at the Democratic National Convention, right? Because he's groomed as a DeMolay. And when they're groomed as a DeMolay, they know how to speak. They're trained for these things. Now, you might say, well, these kids are going to be in on it. They don't look at the world the same as we do. Witches and Satanists don't view things the same way that we do. And these kids are groomed in it. So you might see a young 12-year-old and say, there's no way that that kid is a Satanist. Oh, yeah? They're groomed in the same philosophy. They don't need to wear black lipstick and pentagram shirts to be Satanists. And when they're groomed by Freemasons and Eastern Star witches, those are their handlers. They look up to them. They will not cross them. They take oaths and they have, they swear to secrecy, like these blood oaths and things that we see, fictionalized in movies. That's reality in secret societies. These children are trained. So they're asked to and told to carry out these operations. And they tell them this is for the greater good of humanity. Nobody gets hurt. We pretend that we shoot up a school. What's the big deal, right? They don't think about, well, people out there are going to believe it, because they're putting people into psychosis. And the whole purpose of the psychosis is that they can bring in new laws and change, which they believe is for the better good, because they believe they're building out this utopian society that cannot actually exist. And this utopian society does not include Jesus Christ, for anybody out there that's wondering. So when you see yourself getting lured in because Charlie Kirk is reading scripture and he's showing you pictures of him at church, realize why they're doing that. Because it makes you support him more if you're a follower of Christ. So while we look at the Job's daughters, I'm going to move into this pump up speech now. It's just very important to note that, the connections between the organizations, okay, they are trained. They develop these skills. The behavior that you see when you see these people like Erica Kirk, and they post these photos themselves, everything looks so cookie cutter and formulated and fake. That's because that's how they're groomed and trained to behave. And then they are pushed into the spotlight, and they're the ones that influence you. That's why you see some of your friends, and maybe even you've done it before, and I'm embarrassed, for anyone out there that has done it, the behavior of the things they post on social media, right? Oh, the celebrities start posting pictures of themselves dressing up in front of the fireplace. Mom, dad, and the kids all dressed up in the same embarrassing, ugly Christmas sweater. Fake laugh, everybody. Right? And then, all the sheep will do it. And then what do the sheep do? They post it as their main picture on Facebook and their wallpaper picture. That's because this is how they groom behavior. And this is how, in these secret orders, they groom them to behave. When you look at these people like Erica Kirk, you say that's not normal behavior. Right? How they act in public, how they talk. People are like, they're trained to, wave and smile for the camera and speak so elegant. They're trained that way. This goes back to Tavistock Institute and how they're trained and taught to behave in public. So if you're looking and you're saying, well, can you prove that she's a Job's daughter? Well, you can't prove that any of these people are in these secret societies for the most part, other than signs and symbols. You can't find a list of members of Job's daughters. It's not public. It's private. Same with the D. Malays. Same with most Freemasons. Except for the celebrity Freemasons who are so narcissistic that they don't care. They'll announce it to you because what are you going to do about it? Guys like Shaq, right, that wear the ring on national television. Guys like Ashton Kutcher that wear the hat when they go out to the Laker games. Guys like Simon Cowell who even have the Freemasonic logo on their jet skis, right? So this behavior you see comes directly from the lodges and directly from these groomed people that are now put into the spotlight in these movements. These movements are told are activist movements, right? All these pictures you see that are not normal. They're holding. How many times do you see this picture of him holding up the kids and he's standing for? This isn't normal to do. To go to these places and then just take photos and have this pose every time. So what you're thinking when you're going? I'm going to go see the Grand Canyon. Sure, you might be like, hey, let's take a picture of each other. These people literally are going so that they could stage photos, right? So there's so many pictures of them on social media that brings people deeper into psychosis. Because there's Charlie with his wife, they're at the Grand Canyon. There's Charlie with his wife, they're at church. There's Charlie with his wife, they're at an event. Oh, it's so cute. And they got the babies always. They're holding and kissing the babies, exposing their 3-year-old on social media. That's so cute, right? No, it's not real. They're convincing you that characters that are created by the government are real people, real civilians like us, so that they can manipulate you and manipulate your behavior. So this is the big thing here. Okay, so 2 days after, not only the ridiculous footage at the casket, right, the charade, the show she puts on, the production, walking, hearing the bagpipes, walking to her car, we get a speech. Could you imagine this? All right, anybody out there, if you're married or you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, they're shot in the skull. You ready to give a pump-up speech in 2 days? I mean, most people can't even give a speech at their spouse's funeral. But here's a speech, because this is a priority. 2 days after he's shot. You got to give a speech to MAGA. That's what it's about, right? That's what Charlie died for, the party. And none of these people realize that they're commies. They're loyal to the party. They're like, no, we're not communists. We're nationalists. We support America and freedom. You're communists, you fools. You want to call it fascism? Fine, call it that. But you're loyal to a specific party till death. So, of course, our new character that's been introduced as Charlie has exited stage right and likely living in Israel. And you might say, well, what about him seeing his wife if he's over in Israel? These people aren't really married. How would you know they're married? Do you go out to dinner with them? They live next door where you see them go to bed at night next to each other? No, you don't. They tell you on social media, they show up, at these massive conventions together holding hands. Whoop did he do? Michael Jackson was showing up places with Elvis Presley's daughter. Did anyone think Michael Jackson was a straight male and he was married to her? Everyone was going, that's not real, that's staged, right? Everything is staged. The problem is that people are sucked in because they're playing on you. They're playing on Christians. Ooh, these are Christians. They know the Bible. They love the Bible. They love God. They constantly have to say Jesus and bring God into it because they know it'll bring you into it. It'll make people come after me, people like me and you. for calling out the government as fake. And other events will be like, this is fake. Oh, yeah, you're right, man. You're right, Call. You know how many people are turning on me? And I couldn't care less. The fire has been lit back under me. So thank you. But these people are like, oh, these other events are fake, but this one's not. Oh, why? Why? Because he's professing Christ? And they're like, well, you profess Christ. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't do it to suck you in to my channel. My channel isn't a ministry, right? We all of a sudden have this conversion of politics and Christianity, which have nothing to do with one another. There's nothing in the Bible about Christian nationalism in the United States of America. Get over it. There's no connection between the Republican Party and Christianity. They've made that, and they're doing it with characters like Kirk, and that's why Trump is suddenly Christian, and Russell Brand has come out and is suddenly baptized. It's a show to suck you in. That's why the Bible warns about my people perishing for a lack of knowledge, and that's why I warn, because I don't want to see our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ duped, and I know they're all members of these 501c3 churches, and they're getting duped into supporting Israel and everything else. It's a show, and this proves it here. Listen to this speech where she will use things. This is how you bring Christians in. Evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination. They have no idea what they've done. You have no idea what you've unleashed across the entire country and this world.
Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like a grieving widow whose husband was shot in the throat. Or, excuse me, the newest thing, because that got exposed real quick. It ricocheted off of his bulletproof vest, which, by the way, anyone out there owns a bulletproof vest, you'd know if someone was wearing it. Charlie Kirk's chest couldn't have been flatter down. There's 0% chance he had one on. But of course, if Alex Jones and the alt-right media shills like Mark Dice, etc., start pushing that, then these people will believe it. So they come over when you see me exposing the blood squib and everything else and how they do this with the neck and they could run a tube behind. Oh my, yeah, no, but that's not what it was. It ricocheted. It looks fake because it ricocheted off the bulletproof vest. That's why the whole way his shirt went up. Oh, right. Keep telling yourself that because you want to believe in the government psyop. Just be like, oh yeah, okay, I was wrong. How many times I'm wrong? I'm wrong a lot. Am I wrong with my channel? It's pretty rare, but I mean, yeah, if I'm trying to predict it, sure. Maybe that. I'm not wrong with talking about things that are facts like weather modification or signs and symbols. I'm saying in my day-to-day life, I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. Quite often, we all are. We're not perfect. So just to get over it and admit it. So you hear how she's tying this stuff in. No emotion, right? Fake emotion. And the main objective here, airing this on Fox News, it's like literally they could have Hitler there, or one of those other characters that they've created, speaking to their clan, right? Their cult. And they're blasting this all over television, by the way. Why is this even on TV? She's in his studio. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's so fake. and so over the top, and it's so not normal that it's insane that people actually don't see it. Look at how people are responding. I'm going to show you a couple screenshots, then I got to show you another clip here. Our battle is not political, it is spiritual warfare. Well, of course. So they're now trying to, bring in this, using, Bible verses like Ephesians, talking about not battles, not versus flesh and blood, but rulers in high places and principalities. They're trying to bring that stuff in, which, of course, everything in the Bible is real. But who's to say that these characters are real? They're tickling your ears. You know that verse in the Bible? Tickling your ears. So Erica Kirk told her child today, baby, daddy loves you so much. He's on a work trip with Jesus so he could afford your blueberry budget, right? My heart. Oh, her heart is broken. If you look up the word strength in your dictionary, it should simply show a picture of Miss Erica Kirk. Now, why, Chris Miller? Do you know her? Do you know if this is real? Why would you think that this was real? Because it's on a television? Right. Don't we think of the TV as what we watch on TV are actors, right? Hey, you're watching Seinfeld. Oh, they're actors, right? Hey, you're watching a movie, right? You put Rocky. Oh, they're actors, right? Why would you think that these aren't actors? If the government's main objective is control, why would they not create characters and actors and then manipulate you through them? Like pretending to shoot them and kill them like they tried to do with Trump and now did with Kirk, which was perfectly done, this whole thing, because without Trump's fake assassination attempt, I don't think the response with Kirk is like this, because there's just been this slow build, multiple attempts. People, And instead of having Trump get assassinated, which I'm sure he still will at some point, because they aren't just going to have him have a normal death. He has to have something happen to him because these people are going to lose their minds. They'll lose their minds. So they're not going to waste the character Donald Trump and just say, oh, Donald Trump's got cancer, he's going to die. These people don't get cancer. These people don't die the way they tell you they die. Okay? But let me, Chris, these people, this is what you look in the dictionary, you see strength. This is what you look at, Chris, when you see hypnotism and being in a psychosis. I know you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that you're living in an alternate universe. They want to believe that we are. That's the common comment that I keep getting. You're living in one, man. This is crazyville. Is it? Is it? Because you're turning on your Instagram account. You don't think the government say, hey, we're going to make actors. We're going to give them Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, all this stuff. And then, we're going to have them speak the things that these people want to hear. So these people don't do anything on their own. They'll look to these groups like the alt-right. And they'll have them fight for them with words and be their fighters while they still go and do their 9-to-5 jobs instead of forming a revolution. And then, oh yeah, they're real because I've seen pictures of them with their kids and all that stuff, right? Or, this is just this clip is just the perfect example of how easy it is to suck these people in. I say these people, I want to say lukewarm Christians, but I won't even say it because it's not fair to say. Because this is mind control. And all these people know about MK Ultra and mind control. I mentioned Dice. He's got books on Operation Mockingbird. Right? But what does Dice not tell you? He tells you, Mockingbird Media are these goons with pumping their propaganda of anti-Trump on CNN, et cetera, et cetera. No. Mockingbird Media is the simulation of news stories and events. So listen to this clip of Erica Kirk. This is the ultimate way to suck somebody. Talking about her 3-year-old kid and her saying he's on a work trip with Jesus. Everyone, their heart breaks. And he's on a work trip with Jesus to buy her some blueberries.
And I talked to her and she said, Mommy, I missed you. I said, I miss you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus so he can afford your blueberry budget. And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness, Charlie, you alongside Jesus right now.
Give me a break. And this is the response. Charlie Kirk, a true warrior of his family and faith and country. You'll be missed. I'm 100% sure that you're proud of your beloved Erica. What are you proud of her for? What, you're proud. So if this was a real event anyway, just say hypothetically, he got shot. What would you be proud of Erica for? Because she's standing at a podium 2 days after her husband supposedly shot? That makes you proud? He would be proud? I mean, if I got shot in the neck in real life and I was married, okay, I would be pretty upset if my wife wasn't grieving 2 days later, especially if I was in my 30s, not my 80s or 90s, right? I expect my wife to be grieving for a long time. It's a sudden traumatic death, getting shot in the throat. No, but this is heroic, right? He's proud. She proved to the whole nation and world last night what a truly perfect woman you are blessed with. These people are under severe mind control. And again, it's because of social media. The social media psychosis is what I call it. Everybody thinks that they know these people. I've said this so many times. When somebody writes something, I'm having a rough day, Kim Kardashian, oh, and everyone writes, oh, Kim, hang in there. Oh, why are you writing that? Do you think Kim knows you or cares? All right, were you hoping that she gives you a little heart? Is that going to make your whole life? Somehow it does with these people. It should just prove that they're in a psychosis. Because these people post on there and do these things like him at the church pointing up to the ceiling, or pictures of him with his kids, or at the grand, just showing you him with his kids. It's subliminally processed in your mind. He's a family man. He's a Christian. He's got values and morals, right? And they shot him. So you feel like you've been shot. But what you don't realize is that all this stuff you see is not real. Because you see it on social media, it's not real, right? How many times have we heard people say, well, just because it's on social media, people pretending that their life is great. And then, of course, they commit a crime and kill their family, right? All these true crimes, like on social media, it looked like they were the perfect couple and happy family. Then the guy blew everybody's brains out. That's because social media is a psychosis. And the people put stuff up there because it's monkey see, monkey do. They watch the other people say, oh, I'm going to post this. Oh, we're going to be at this event. Let's post a picture so everyone can see. Oh, we're going to be at the beach. Let's post a nice family photo so everyone can see we're all at the beach, right? All positive, great, wonderful things. What people don't talk about is how the government created Facebook and created Instagram, right? But if you found out the government created, would you sign up for it? Of course not. Do you remember the LifeLog project? I just did a video on the website recently about it, talking about all this stuff with Amazon and Bezos' direct connection to DARPA and his grandfather. LifeLog is Facebook, okay? The LifeLog project was shut down, and the next day, Facebook launched because Facebook is LifeLog. These stories they give you are by design. Mark Zuckerberg stole this whole idea from the Van Winkle twin, whatever their names were. These two twins at Harvard. He stole it and he ran away with this company. He created this business, and everybody's getting on Facebook and blah 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 blah. The government created this. They created it so that you gave up your privacy to them. You started showing them pictures of yourself. Then what you don't realize is when you type something in on social media, you're uploading your thoughts, right? So we talk about reading people's minds, right? And data. When they talk about these data centers, it's everything you're doing online. Everything you're typing and searching, sure. But everything on social media. Oh, I had a tough day at work. You're writing the things that are on your mind. Somebody dies and you give manufactured quotes. I'm giving my love and prayers for Charlie Kirk. You don't even know him, right? Manufacturing behavior, giving up privacy, people tagging what locations they're at the concert, right? Thinking it's just good, clean, innocent fun because it's under the fake guise of Facebook, a company that trades publicly on the stock. It's a company. If I told you it was the government and the government knocked on your door and said, we have this website, we want you to join it. Post pictures of your kids on there. Post things that you're doing on there. Tell us what you're thinking about. Would you sign up for it? Or would you say, get the F off my property? And then go to your neighbor's house and say, you hear this? This is sick. We got to do something about it. The government's trying to get us to go on this thing called the internet, which is somewhat brand new. It's only been around a little bit. And then they want us to put pictures of ourselves and talk about the things that we're talking about, right? That's why they eased people in with Facebook, and then it just continued to be more and more, and, giving up your privacy, giving up your rights, giving up, your location. It's insanity. If they didn't put brands in front of it, you would not sign up for it. That's the free will. Oh, my free will, I'm joining it. The government's not forcing me in anything, right? They're using mind control to convince you to do it. So part of what we've seen, as I feel this is a pretty strong video, hopefully it's the type of video that you could share and people go, hey, all right, let me take a step back. Let me stop emotionally investing. I have nothing to gain from saying this isn't real. I'm trying to wake people up to how Operation Mockingbird, the real deep state, the media, the CIA, how they operate, okay? They make up characters, they make up news stories to affect your emotion. And since this event has occurred, people are coming after me all over the place as if I care. I just respond to them and I say, when you're ready to come out of your sleep, we'll be here waiting for you. If you want to continue in the simulation, continue. We're here to try to help. I'm not here to try to anger you, saying that an event is fake regarding somebody that none of us know. none of us are going on family trips with. None of us have grown up around characters, right? They can't hear that because they think that they know these people. I say to them, did you see a corpse? They're like, I believe your videos a lot, but I don't know about this one. Oh, yeah? Did you see a corpse? Like, he's definitely not alive. Did you see a corpse? What do you need to be told? That does the television tells you that they're dead? The guy got rushed off into a black SUV. We know what hospital he was at? I'm sure they'll give us some fake thing because they're listening to us. So they're saying, oh, call is, some of these guys are talking about the SUV in the hospital. So let's tell them they checked into this hospital. Oh, right. Right. We have video of him getting ushered in. I mean, everything's on camera now. So, can we get it all? Can I see him on the table and pumping his heart? Can I go to the morgue and see his body himself? Because that's the way we should think. Why believe any of this stuff unless we see it and have proof? Were these people there for the autopsy? No, they weren't. Were they at the morgue? No, they weren't. So how do they suck them in there? Well, they show them the wife leaning over the casket. So they feel like they've seen his dead body. They don't think, wait, I didn't see his face. Wait, those hands don't look real. Right? That's why they show you it. To try to combat questions being asked, which again was the purpose of Alex Jones' Sandy Hook trial. So that people out there are afraid to even think that the news is fake. The people who defend Sandy Hook, they have every right to do so, just like anybody else out there has a right to question it. The problem is that those people are so angry about it because they have souls and hearts. Right? They're like, how dare you question Sandy Hook? These poor children. And I get it. Who would ever? Right. If there's kids dead, everybody's emotionally upset. But prove to me they were real. And then they just go, no. Oh, yeah, why? You believed in the Roman Empire? You believed in Hitler? You don't believe that there's evil people that would manipulate news stories, fabricate them to change the laws and bring in gun rights and all this other crap, red flag laws, everything that they're doing, the Patriot Act. And then your government would blow up 2 towers working with the small hats because they wanted to bring in a Patriot Act? Well, of course they did. That's why they did it. There's a solution to all these events that they create. There's a reason that they do it. They don't just do it for ritualistic purposes, right? So people say, well, how do you, the corpse thing, they just kind of dismiss. Well, of course I wasn't there. Then they go, what about the kids, man? What about the kids? You're saying the kids are fake, it's CGI, it's not real. Well, let me just tell you this. You don't think, first of all, they breed children. That's what covens do, right? Having these characters have children play on your heartstrings. Now these children don't have a father. How do you even know that they had kids? The perfect example to use every time because they go, oh, that's insane. Oh, yeah. 99% of Republicans believe that Michelle Obama has a penis. Do they not? They do. All of MAGA is like, Michelle's a man. We even hear the alt-right media say it. How come none of them address who the children are? Who are the children then? If Michelle has a penis, right? And Barack Obama is a gay man, Barry Soetoro. Who are these kids that we see? Oh, they're not their kids. Right. The MAGA will agree with that. And they'll say that. They'll be like, yeah, it's not their kids. Because she's got a penis. They just gave them actors, right? Because they wanted to prove that she was a woman. Right. So why are you having a hard time accepting this? Why are you having a hard time? Because you feel like you're a part of it. He speaks the things that you speak. You watched his videos. You saw the fake shooting. That's called trauma-based mind control. Witnessing it. It lured you in. And people go, I don't get how you think that it's fake. So you're saying the people there weren't real? It was CGI, it was this, or it was that? Let me make it clear to you, okay? Because this is important about simulated events, okay? If you're an extra in a movie and you're standing around and you're waiting for a scene to start where you're in a crowd and the scene is a guy who's going to get shot, right? And you're just standing there and you're waiting. Then they yell action, and then right? And they shoot the guy, and then they yell cut, right? And it looks realistic, but you couldn't care less because you know it's fake. You're like, hey, I'm an actor, this is a movie, this is going on. Why do you think it can't work the other way around? Why would you think that they couldn't have an entire simulation around you with actors and characters in place, tell you to go to this event, and then carry it out? You don't think that that's possible, or it's just blowing your mind to even think that way? The difference between these news stories in an actual movie is that you haven't been told that you're in a production. You don't hear a director yell action. You're not showing up on the set of Paramount Studios. You're going, oh, I'm at this camp. How do you know this whole thing wasn't set up around you? We're going to have a fake shooter here. We're going to have agents. Everyone saw the guy with the hand signs behind Kirk. That's making everybody question, well, maybe they really shot him. Maybe they saw it. Okay, maybe it wasn't. That's the narrative that they're going with because they saw that. That was a director calling cues right behind Charlie Kirk. So because you're there, that's what makes people, and they think that they're at something real, and this is a real person. I'm at a real event. I'm going to hear this guy speak because he is a real person, right? He's real flesh, at least, so we think, and he's there and he's speaking. They just would never think that these people are in on it. These people are creating these events so that we're all divided. We all go down each other's throat. We all call for change. We all call for civil unrest and civil war, right? I mean, I'm going to do a video about the Smith-Mundt Act and this Charlie Kirk amendment that everybody's now yelling about passing, because all it's about the Smith-Mundt and, the media pushing dialogues and pushing propaganda, right? And Obama overturned it. These people don't realize that when they flip it back, okay, and you get one narrative only, the narrative that you like, that's not what the point of any of this stuff is. It's the news itself. These are characters. This is what the CIA does. They ever tell you what the CIA is doing? You hear about the CIA, they make movies about it. Well, the CIA. The only time you ever hear, you're just like, oh, the CIA, weren't they involved in this corrupt thing? Oh, yeah, you could say that again. This is what they do. They manufacture and produce events. Black ops agents in place, actors in place. They create these guys. They give you 10 years of Charlie Kirk. So that makes you think you know him, right? You don't know what he's doing when he's not sitting in front of a screen for an hour talking to you, saying the things that you like to hear. You don't see him go to bed at night. You don't see where he goes when he goes underground or to these events that they all go to together and plot against the people. You don't see any of it. You see social media. And because you see social media, you believe in the psychosis. Thus, you're a part of it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk, a pageant queen. What a coincidence, too, that the Job's Daughters and Rainbow Girls have such a direct connection in producing and manufacturing these pageant queens, right? You look at all the pictures of them. They're all dressed up like pageant queens. They groom them. This is how you speak. This is how you do this. It's all Tavistock crap. And then when they put these people, that's why when you watch like the Miss America Awards, you're just like, maybe it's just me. I don't watch them, but if you ever see a clip, right, and you're like, okay, we've all seen a clip at least of like 3 minutes, like answer a question. And you look at them and you're just like, how fake are these people? That's what everyone says. They're like, they're so fake. That's what at least I say, and normal people, right? Unless you're under hypnosis, you're like, wow, she's really sweet. Fake humans. And that's what you're seeing around you right now because behavior is being manufactured. And that's what these secret societies do. And then these characters go into place and then they manufacture. That's why Christianity's become so cookie cutter. The CIA created the evangelical movement. Christians have to look a certain way, act a certain way. That's why people come over here and they're like, this guy's not Christian. I don't hear him preaching the word. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have to memorize it word for word, the Bible, and then read it to you? Well, Charlie Kirk knows the Bible word for word. Oh, yeah. You know who else knows the Bible word for word? I'll give you a hint. Secret societies. Satanists and witches know the Bible better than any Christian. They know their enemies better than any Christian. You know why? Because Satanists and witches are taught to follow the Bible oppositely, invertedly. That's what they do. So, wow, he knows the Bible. That must make him a Christian. How many times do we hear that? He knows more verses than you do. Oh, you didn't know which verse that was? Come on, man. That's what Christians have turned into. Who cares if you memorize what verses where or what? It's the message. It's what's in your heart. But if you play the role and you constantly are just going out there and everyone's going, he preaches the word of Jesus. Okay, well, you don't think that Satan would use minions to deceive them by using the name of Christ? What do you think? They can't say Jesus' name? That it can't come out of their mouth if they were going to try to seduce and lure people? Of course they would. Why do you think the Bible talks about so many deceptions and by people perishing for a lack of knowledge? How do you think they were going to bait Christians in or are going to bait them in? If Charlie Kirk was out there wearing a pentagram, would you care as much? No. It's like, well, yeah, because I'm a Christian. I can't relate to that. Right. So, of course, he's going to say these things, tickle your ears, get you invested. And look how people are responding now. We haven't seen a psychosis like this in a long time. I mean, the MAGA Trump assassination with the Trump statues and the idols, all the stuff I've covered. Yeah, it's pretty insane. These people are ready to fight. These people are ready for war over a character that was created by the government. So Erica Kirk is now going to be taking the stage, ladies and gentlemen, as Charlie has been called on for other things. But there's no greater purpose. If Charlie was still a public figure for the next 70 years, nothing he could do would be more important or integral to what they're going to bring forth than killing the character off, right? So I say Charlie's okay now. He's not going to be in the spotlight anymore. Charlie is going to be worshipped, and these people are narcissistic freaks, okay? As is most of society these days. But the character Charlie Kirk, this is the greatest purpose for it. It doesn't need to be on stage anymore. And for those who go, well, if he's off in they put him in, it's just amazing, right? It's amazing that people believe they're like, oh yeah, they're in witness protection. It's a mob guy. He got out. He went in witness. Oh, well, they wouldn't put these people in, right? They just tell you that Jeffrey Epstein's dead, so you believe it. He hung himself. Oh, where's the proof? Oh, you just keep getting baited in. Oh, they cut the camera there. Oh, what happened? Oh, he's dead. They killed him. Oh, you don't think that he's actually alive? No? Come on. Of course he is. Right? I told you he's in witness protection. You'd be like, witness protection? Someone's going to see him. Well, we're talking real witness protection. We're talking protected by the Mossad. These people are in locations that you wouldn't know existed on a map. You are not finding these people. These people are serving a greater cause. Look at what they're doing to society and the minds of the masses, the control they have over them, all by moving little pieces around, little chess pieces, these characters that they create. And everybody out there acts as if they're real people, and they don't want to hear it. They'll come over there and be like, you're the worst. I'm unsubscribing. I don't care. You don't have to make an announcement, narcissist, that you're unsubscribing. I'm not going to blink, okay? I'm not going to blink over it. I've had 89 channels now deleted, millions of subs, billions. I don't care if you unsubscribe. You don't have to tell me. Just unsubscribe, right? But I'm not going to fight you because you disagree. I'm trying to help. I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this to try to get you angry. I'm doing this to try and help you understand that when they talk about fake news, they're talking about the news being scripted and even events like this being manufactured. If you don't think that they can carry something like this out in a public place, think again. The technology that they have is way beyond your comprehension. But they don't even need to use good technology. All they need to do is tell you, here's a real event, and here's a guy getting shot, and it's on the news, so it's real, versus you going and seeing it in a movie. But you know what? The reality is there's no actual difference. In fact, there's more truth in the movies than there is on the news. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.